Dante.
Hello, Isaac. When we sit quiet, again, a lot of activity is happening. And last time when I was sitting with you, after that, a lot of shame came up, and that I come too often to sit with you. It was something like this. And I would like to check it also, and that I could maybe can deal with when something strong comes up. If it's fine to come, or is it? Could I have another choice just to rest, even when the system goes so strongly in restlessness? Actually, yes.
You know, it's like, how many hugs are we allowed in a lifetime? how many?
Oh, Isaac, yeah, there's so much judgment about that. I ask for attention, or something like this. Or yeah. Great. And I just had to speak it, so I don't have always
beautiful that you,
and
that you
many
speak
may
it.
have the same, that they don't come because they're ashamed or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But actually, I could see. I could rest with the shame then afterwards. It was like war, and then suddenly a peace came also. But I feel really just to bring it once, and but because it is so helpful always, always when we sit together, even when I feel it is not going through something or something, it's always such a help afterwards that something becomes more quiet, or something is seen, or it is so helpful always. Yes.
Yeah. It's like, to me, it seems like we all had different imprints growing up, different circumstances, different stuff. And so, it's the same thing with a child. Some child wants to be held almost constantly. Other children, they just want to run out. And so,
yes,
I don't know,
also this is different, of course. Yes.
Yeah, just
the wantings and needs are different, or what we enjoy is different. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I also love the days when nothing is activated, when I just can rest in the field. It is also so beautiful. But the mind is making up something around it. Yes.
Yeah, of course. It's its job.
Yes. Yes. So I love to sit in moments quiet and be hugged, or hug maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I see some posts on Facebook about, people that teachers, they should send people away when they come with the same questions again and again. I mean, I just look at it. That's one idea. Okay.
Yes.
Some people are like that. Nisargadatta was fierce like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But so we are attracted to someone who is similar to.
You see, I don't see myself as a teacher. I just see myself
I know,
from here.
but as
so it's like, wow.
Yes.
Can you hold my hand? Sure. Can you hug me?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
yeah.
And then felt like when I had this going through my mind, and so like a son, you know, the son wouldn't say you come and you don't come, something like this.
Sure.
And yes, mm, yeah. Ah, mm, ah, mm.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, thank you. Hmm.
Ah, Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
It's funny because I wanted to say something, or something had an idea, but it's like I'm sitting with, it's like the lion's roar is in the belly, and it just takes the tongue and the movement and it won't move. It's so on fire. And then the mind is so so your laughter.
There's just thoughts, we call it the mind, but really just thoughts are going, and so, yeah. It's interesting. It's like, how do we know which thoughts to listen to, which not to listen to? When is it, a genuine movement that, like, we're jumping over because of being afraid to speak it or move with it, and when is it just, just let it come and let it go? It's like to me, when thoughts keep knocking on the door, then it's like, okay, am I listening? Am I?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Like, and then somehow a freeze happens and it can't move. Everything feels like desire or.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, a thought comes, and it's like, if you listen to that thought, it's going to totally change your life, the way it's been running completely. And in a way, it's like inconvenient, but yet something knows, actually, that's where the energy is. The energy is to listen. So it's like, again, how do we discern which is what is there to listen to, and what is there to just say, no, this is just the mind playing tricks? I mean, I see it with, someone has work that's supporting them, but they don't really love it, and someone keeps, listen, man, this isn't what you're here for. This isn't what you're here for. And no, man, but this is secure. I got my, or like a movement to go somewhere, or whatever it is. It's just like, and we don't understand it. It's just like, it's. There was that Field of Movies, Field of Dreams, where this guy had this vision to build I think it was a baseball field in the middle of nowhere, and he kept coming, and eventually went for it, and it was, of course it moved him. And so it's like, that's just that discernment. Where do you suppress something because it'll blow up your life, and when do you go, wait a second, what's knocking at my door here? And I think we all come, that happens in all of us. It's just like, how do we know what to listen to when the direction is? So I don't know if that helps or just makes it worse.
It is how it is. Yeah, it's like something's waiting to be moved. This energy and They feel there's going to be a movement soon, but it's not happening. And then it's like, here I am.
I know, there's been in my life a number of times where there was a movement happening, and man, I didn't want to listen to it, but in the end I knew I had to. It was just like that. So, for me it was around Micah and I had been living together for, I don't even know how many years at that point, 16 years or something. And but the dynamic between us, as easy as it was, there was something playing that was entangled, and it was not free. It was just, both of us were struggling in it. And, it's like, then there's so many, look, we have to stay in it. Let it come to peace or whatever. Eventually I could see, no, I actually needed to come out of that construct that we had of being in a relationship. That was just this journey. It's like, and it was scary. It was like, wow, maybe I'll be alone for the rest of my life. It's like, I just didn't know, but I knew I had to, and it wasn't easy. It was, but man, on the other side of it, so grateful, and we moved through it. And yes, there was a lot of pain, but we still live in the same home, and we're not lovers anymore. But the lovers, we're not physical lovers, but the lovers, and respect and appreciation is huge and big, and something really freed up in both of us. But it took making that movement. Okay, I'm gonna start traveling on my own, and yeah, seems like you're up at a point like that, or something like that.
Yeah, and I think for Sylvan and I, that's okay too. There's obviously something, self-preservation is getting shaken around, and there's something beautiful for that construct just to be, thrown out.
Yeah.
And the love is there, and the respect, and
that's the whole thing. It's just like, how it seems here is that we've been conditioned to look at life through various constructs that we're so used to, that we just so, how could I say, it's like almost like a building block of our whole personality, of our sense of reality, about who we are, of loyalty, devotion, many, many things. And yet, there's at some point, like, it's just a questioning of every last thing, every last construct. And it's not out of it's just out of the box. It's
Thank you.
Thank you. Jakob. Antje.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Antje.
Seeking is postponement. What a sentence. Wow. Thank you. Whew.
Thanks. Came in my mind, in relation to what we were speaking about, Christine, like when Ramna had that pull to go to the mountain, he could have easily rationalized and said, no, God is everywhere. I don't need to go to a mountain. I can just sit here. But he somehow, how did he know to listen to that thought? And then he went to sit under a tree, and after sitting there for 7 years, I guess the movement came to sit at another tree. You know, it sounds silly in a certain way, but just how do we know which movements to listen to? It's like, yeah. Helen.
Hey.
Hi.
Mm. 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 So sweet. Yeah. Ah.
Love, loving love, yeah.
It's really, really very sweet. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mm. Yeah, and then it's just everything disappears or something. It's mm. Mm. Everything disappears, and at the same time, everything is welcome. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. It's really very sweet, especially this everything is welcome, whatever it is or something. But, huh. Mm. 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 Mm.
In a way, it's like we don't have to die to recognize that we are the light. It's everywhere, it's like that. It's like we can have that experience whilst just
Yeah.
here, and yeah.
Yeah.
Or even deeper than experience, like knowing.
Yeah.
But in a way, it is like dying, because it's like not interested, like not
Yeah.
interested in the usual stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, then sometimes I can see this. It's how to connect with people. If you're not interested in all this, yeah, and then how to connect or something. That's also
I would say just recognize that there's already connection. With sometimes it's awkward, sometimes it's whatever it is, but the connection is beyond all of that stuff. It's like much more subtle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Like some expressions of that can recognize it in themselves, and others have all this clumsy dancing that plays, and it's just how it plays there. It's like so.
Yeah. Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's good. Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Some people.
Hi.
Hey. What's on the screen?
Pure joy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Marcus.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Marcus. Is that your daughter on the Zoom with us tonight? Mari.
Maybe I didn't see her so far. Ah, yes. Now.
I thought I recognized her. It's been years. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Nadja, and I just wanted to say hello. I'm new in the group.
Natia, you're very welcome to raise your hand. At the moment, I'm with Marcus, but you can go next. No problem. You didn't know,
Oh,
so not a problem.
no. Oh God,
Not
sorry.
a problem. Thanks for raising your hand, and after Marcus, you can be next.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm troubled by a pattern that I had for 20 years, but not for the last 5 years. And because of the circumstances I live in at the moment, it came up again. It's about panic and fear, and it's about losing control over material stuff and money and so on. Yeah.
You know, it's amazing, Marcus, just to recognize that every night when you go to sleep, you lose control of everything, and we don't think about it. We're so happy to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we wake up, and then the thoughts come again, and
Yeah.
and trouble us, and like that. So, yeah.
Yes, and I can see it doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm with my father. He's 88 years old. I'm quite similar to him, I think. and he's troubled by the same topic
You can see
without
it's
any
it's
reason. And
yeah, it's inherited.
when I look
It's
at my situation with a bit more of a rational quality, in my case, there's also no reason, but it seems to be in our genes.
yeah. Look, this has been, it's like history. How can we say, if we look at history, the history has been, the world is one invasion after another invasion, the Mongols, and then the Huts, and then, different changes. And we don't, it's like it's so out of control. It just is like that. So, yes, we can play it as best as we can, but we just don't know. And the next minute you can fall over and wake up dead, it's just like we don't know.
Yeah.
But these days we have this thing, it's like before if you had assets, you always had to have property which could be taken away, or you had to have gold which you have to hide somewhere. Nowadays we have Bitcoin. You can take a little, or you can just memorize some phrases and you can take it anywhere in the world with you. And it's like, but who knows how long that's safe for? It's just like,
Yeah.
But it's good, this is, like we're living in, I guess it's always strange times. It is like that, it's Krishna and Arjuna went through the same thing, in the Mahabharata, where they had to go to war because the same level of consciousness was coming in, wanting to take over. So it's not something new on the planet. It's
yeah.
Yeah. And so within that, it's like just how to surf in it. And all of us find us in ourselves in different circumstances. You could say we have next to nothing, and other times we have an abundance, and having abundance just means you can afford. My dad always loved the joke. He said, "At least when I have money, I can suffer in comfort." So, but I've had nothing, and I've been wealthy, and yeah. Ultimately, if we just here, and this idea of money is figures in somewhere, like ones and zeros somewhere. These days, that's all it is. And,
Yeah, I can clearly see that it's about my configuration, about my structure, my body, my genes. It's not about the outer circumstances.
and even to say yours, it's like that was an inheritance, you could say, in a certain way, but it doesn't belong to you. It's just it's like it's coming up in an expression of itself where there's a deep interest in truth, so that this old habits of thought and emotion and worry and all that can just be seen from another perspective, and it doesn't need to be identified with, just as, okay, yeah, I see it's an impression, a conditioning.
No, there's so much joy and love coming up.
ultimately,
with you
that's, in my view, that's true wealth, you know. If you can have money and you don't have that, then forget about it. It's just terrible. Yeah. And all it
thank you
takes
so
is
much.
one thought, and the
One
difference
thought.
between
Yeah.
samsara and nirvana.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you, Marcus. Nadia, welcome. So
Hello,
now I have,
Marcus. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I
no
just
need,
wanted to
sorry.
say hello.
Yes, no, sorry.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to say hello. I'm new in the group and I'm looking forward to spend the night with you. Yeah, and I know
Excellent.
you about Matt, a very good friend I met in Byron Bay
Okay.
on a beautiful lockout. Yes.
Where are you now? Which country?
In Australia, and I just left
Okay.
Byron Bay and came to the casino, to the town
Okay,
casino.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So take a moment just to rest without any, just you know, because there's a communication just resting together, and just let that
Okay.
do its thing, you know, without any, if tears come, let them come. We don't know what comes when we just get a little bit quiet, and what things start to show up. Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah, and I came with a question, and I did a lot of trainings. How to can I come home and find to myself, and and I got this question now on my way back to Melbourne. It's like, who am I? And yeah, and Matt said it would be good to talk to you
yes,
about that
welcome.
question. Yeah.
That's the deepest. That's the deepest question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment just to explore together. Yeah. So here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a bodying activity going on. Trillions
A
of
body.
cells, bacteria, bodying activity. So this, you know, we in the habit of turning activities into nouns. We say body, but really it's bodying. It's an activity going on. Trillions of cells, bacteria, amoebas, viruses, all working together, and then it shows up as a bodying activity. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that bodying activity is happening. And then the question is, are you that bodying activity?
It's
Millions of cells are dying every second, new ones are coming. It knows what to do, it does its thing. Yeah. We're just looking, you know. So the spotting activity is there. And usually for most expressions of life that show up as human, there's this idea that I'm this bodying activity, but so we're just looking together now. So there's this bodying activity going on. Mostly we hardly know this. I mean, literally there are trillions of cells and so many things happening in every cell. We're not aware of it at all. It's
No,
doing
we're
its
not.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the question is, are we this bodying activity? Or are we something deeper?
We are something deeper.
Okay, very good. So now you took a moment and you saw that. Then the next thing, thoughts come and go, yeah?
Yeah.
And the way we speak, we say, I'm thinking, but really and truly, if you think you're thinking, just try to stop and you'll see thinking keep happening. Thoughts come when they want and they leave when they want, yeah. And so then the next question is, are you your thoughts? Are you the thoughts that go through? Or or that which is aware of it? Yeah, not the thoughts. How about the emotions?
I can control them, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can put myself in joyful moments to feel joy, right?
Yeah. But so these, emotions come and go. We can't hold on to them. Not the highest high, not the lowest low. They just come and go, yeah? Again, like there's awareness of these emotions that come and go, yeah?
Yeah, there is awareness.
Yeah, that awareness
For sure.
is here. Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's this bodying activity doing its thing, there's thoughts doing its things, these emotions come and go. And this moment, if you look, it's perceived through your senses. So how do you know there's a universe or a world? You perceive it, yeah?
Yeah.
And those perceptions, those sensations appear in awareness.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. So this whole universe, time, space, matter, energy, everything is actually just information or sensations appearing in awareness.
Yeah. It is so difficult to get it though.
No, you don't have to get it, you just see it, yeah? When I speak it, you know it. Don't have to get anything. How do you know there's a bodying activity? Again, we perceive it.
Yeah, I'm doing it though. I'm shaking. That's me.
Yeah, or it's shaking, the body's shaking, it's not you. The body's breathing.
Yeah.
We say I'm breathing, but really it's not, nobody's breathing. It's just life doing its thing, yeah? Heart is beating, breathing, new cells happening, all just happening by itself. So the question you asked, it's the quintessential question, the most important question, who am I?
Who am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm very attached still to this external ego, I guess, what is talking to me that I.
So let's look at that just for fun. I mean, that you can see that I'm attached. That's a thought, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Now try and find where's the I that's attached.
Where the thought to attached is to me.
Where is so this sense of I, this feeling sense of I, that comes and goes on a daily basis, because when we go to deep sleep, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we wake up, and then some thoughts come, some habitual thoughts. Where am I? What's going on? What do I have to do today? Whom am I upset with? It's a memory, and all that stuff starts playing, and then we get the sense of being located somewhere and being someone. If that cycle of thoughts stop, then there's just presence. There's no me there.
Okay.
That sense of I is just a habit of thought that goes on and that we're so familiar with. And somehow there's a belief that feeling sense of I is who we are, but it's not, clearly not. Because if those thoughts stop, if you've ever had a moment where they stopped, then there's just space, yeah? Presence. Yeah. But then we have this idea that that sense of I is what chooses, what decides, has some capacity to do, but it's not true. The sense of I is a mirage, like a rainbow.
Wow,
If those
okay.
thoughts, if that cycle of thoughts stops, there's just presence, there's just awareness here. And that awareness that's here now, see if it's possible to even speak about it. Where does it begin and
is.
end?
Yeah. I think I don't know, but it's like there goes a lot of emotion right now through me. It's this, you can't get it, but it feels true, and there's a totally confusion right now.
Okay, that's
Who can
okay.
I
Then
trust,
there's awareness of it. There's awareness of it. And so now that question comes, who can I trust? Beautiful question. Yeah, so just rest with that question. It's a thought, yeah?
Yeah,
So then we,
but also
like
a
in all,
need.
yeah.
It's a need of safety,
Yeah, so let's look at that then. It rose up, it came to be looked at, yeah? So first we have to look at what we mean by trust. So take a moment. This is an inquiry. We're just looking together, yeah? What is trust? What I
Truth.
know is that
I think
if
truth.
I meet a thief, I can trust that they will steal. If I meet a
No.
junkie, I can trust that.
Oh,
Yes.
no, not really.
Yeah. If you see a snake, you're in Australia and you see a snake. If you're present with a snake and and it doesn't feel threatened by you, it will not bite you. We're not their food.
Exactly.
But if they feel scared, then their nature is to bite, or to either to try and get away or to attack.
Yeah,
So
I'm agree to that one.
that's the thing. So, yes, then when we look at the snake and we see, okay, wow, what a beautiful expression of life, and we honor it and we see it and we recognize, okay, it's not my enemy. It's just doing its thing. It's being that expression of totality. And so we can trust a snake to bite if it feels threatened or to run away, and we can trust that if it doesn't, it will just go its way and leave us alone. So in the end, when I say trust, when you go to sit on the chair, something in you looks, can that chair hold my weight? So it's not that you trust the chair, you trust your own knowing of if that chair is safe to sit on or not.
That is true.
So what you can trust is your own knowing. That's it.
Yeah. 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 It is so true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you trust your thoughts? No.
Sometimes
Thoughts come
this
and
is
go
like
and
a tricky one. That's a tricky one, okay?
no, just can you trust the politician? No, okay, so So what in the end, so we hear, and you spoke about trust, and then you also tied that trust to safety.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. So now the next thing, what does safety mean?
To have a surrounding where you can be you and don't be in this
Is it
fight-flight mode.
is it dependent on the surrounding?
Yes.
Let's see, is that true? You can be sitting alone in paradise and be freaked out. You can be sitting in a jail cell and be completely blissful. People have woken up in concentration camps. People have woken up whilst they were being tortured. It has nothing to do with circumstance.
Okay.
You know, the way, just to understand this, most of us have trauma, both, from when we were in the womb, from early childhood, whatever's happened in this lifetime, but we also carry ancestral trauma from our ancestors. We know that. Yeah. And the nature of trauma is you can be sitting and a sound can happen, or a smell, or a thought, and suddenly it feels like our existence is threatened. But you look around, you go, wait, there's no actual threat here. But the whole body will be in fight, flight, or freeze. It has nothing to do with what's actually going on. It can, but a lot of times it has nothing to do with it. It's just old information coming up.
Okay. But for me, it's a surrounding to make a surrounding where I feel safe. It's like a surrounding where I have control. Oh
You
God.
never have control. You never have control.
Oh yes, okay. Oh, that's a lot right now.
Yeah.
I think I will sit
Well,
with that.
yeah.
But
Feel
thank
free,
you
and feel free
so
to
much.
come. Feel free to come anytime and ask more questions. You've asked your questions now, so you are that awareness. That's your nature. That sense of I is not who you are. You're not the personality. You're not the thoughts. You're not all these unconscious patterns and old traumas. They appear in awareness. They're not who you are.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, group.
Yeah. Good idea. Good travels in Australia.
Thank you.
Mukti. That recognition that we're the awareness and not that sense of I is such an important recognition, yeah? When we think we're the sense of I, man, that's confusion. That's hell, actually. Once it starts to recognize, no, wait, actually, I'm that which is aware. And the sense of I comes and goes in that. Yeah, huge difference. Everything comes and goes in that awareness. Yeah. Every thought, every impression, every movement.
Since we spoke, there's been more clarity and seeing a lot of the effort that still was going on to trying to find awareness. And there was a moment yesterday where there was seen more clear that this effort was not needed.
Yeah. Not needed, actually, because you're aware of the effort. And the awareness is there anyway, yeah. And the effort just makes it seem like awareness is not, yeah, you know, you're trying, the sense of I is trying to, something, yeah. Yet awareness is right here. It can't go anywhere. The only thing that ever moves is our attention. That's it. And our attention, let's just look, are we our attention? Attention is just focus, yeah, where we focus. So if I say, focus on your right knee, tell me the sensations in your right knee. Easy to do it, right? You can just bring your attention there. Say, now, focus on your left knee. You can bring your attention there, right? But is that you, that attention? Or is that just the focus?
It's kind of a movement, just.
It's just a movement appearing in awareness, that's it. And we can bring our focus anyway, you know, I can say focus on your mother or your father or your brother, and you can tune into them, and we get whatever information comes when you tune there, that's it. You then never know if it's true or not, you know, but just that's it. Yeah. But awareness is just here. And these movements happen, and then we go to sleep, and dream state, there's still movements, deep sleep, everything disappears, yeah.
Yeah, it's what you said before to Marcus. It's just a relief. When you remind us that when you go to sleep, you're really happy to go to sleep, and you just and leave
It's
everything.
a relief. Yeah, leave everything. Yeah, how nice, huh? Yeah.
Then the attention is just there's nobody either focusing the attention. It's
Exactly. That sense of being someone that appears in that movement and the focus, but yeah, it's just a movement appearing in awareness. that sense of someone is a Fata Morgana, it's a mirage, it's a, you look, you see, it's just, so there's no one.
So it's just
After a lifetime of being someone, you realize there's never been anyone here. You know, because like how we were raised, we meet someone and then within a few seconds, actually, there's been a number of studies on this. Within a few seconds of meeting someone, we form an impression. And we think that impression is the person. But their mother will have a different impression, their brother a different impression, their children, their boss, everyone has a different impression. So whose impression is the right one? Yeah. They have an idea of themselves sometimes also. And is that who they are? It's all just impressions, yeah, interpretations. So you look deeper, you just see that same awareness looking through those eyes. And you can't find anybody there. It's just that. Just to rest like this is fine, yeah, no problem. Is it?
yeah, and I can see this movement of sense of me and trying to, but I can see it's
Yeah. Awareness is not concerned with open and not open, anything like that. That's relates to the, you could say, the impressions in the body from past traumas and all that stuff. Leave it alone. It's not your business. It will open when it's time. You could say.
I know
The
I
rest
meant,
is that which.
sorry.
Yeah.
I just meant that I could see that there was this sense of me trying to just still trying to understand or trying to grasp it, but I could see that
Okay. Yeah.
that is this movement,
Not
but
necessary. Yeah.
it's not me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Beautifully described.
So that is, this fear comes, but it's just another movement.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend and I said that there was just kind of like something, like it felt like really strong, and he said, but you are aware of it, so it cannot come. And kind of like this big monster, and it's very liberating.
Yes.
And I can see that it's just cannot do anything to this space.
Exactly.
It's kind of a shock in the system.
Yeah. Lovely to see and feel, Mukti.
What?
Lovely to see and feel just how
Yeah.
this is moving and deepening in you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There's this part that doesn't want to let go of you, but it's just, yeah, it's.
You know, again, it's like what you call me.
Yeah.
It's like there's an enjoyment of being met so deeply and seen and felt. Because that's rare, actually, that that happens. That someone doesn't want anything, or just resting with us and feels every little movement and sees. Or when I say maybe not everyone, but many of them. Yeah, but it's yeah, because when we were babies and our existence depended on somebody seeing and feeling us, and they saw us as an objects, they couldn't. They didn't feel us, they didn't see us. And so it often leaves residues behind, of not really being fully seen and fully felt. So when that happens, it's very, how could I say, it completes some circuitry in the nervous system just to be seen and felt like that. It's powerful.
And I can see that there was the movement always to look it out, and then saying that I cannot, I couldn't give it myself either. And
It's not 100% true that.
There was just big resistance. What I mean, it's just I wasn't able to just. Well, there was a lot of trauma also. And
yeah. So let's just take a moment for that. You see, when we say I couldn't, we're talking about the sense of I.
Yeah.
And of course, the sense of I is conditioned, and it's seeing through filters, so it can't see clearly. When we rest together as awareness, then a lot of the habitual unconscious habits start to appear and get seen. And it's true that the sense of I cannot do that.
Because it doesn't exist
So
either.
it doesn't even exist, for one thing. And another thing, it exists within its own vortex, within its own habit of thought and interpretation. So of course it can't see clearly. So but it's not personal I that can't see.
Yeah.
It's that sense of personal I cannot. Yeah. So of course there's a big value in just resting together as awareness. Yeah. And then things reveal. That makes sense? That resonates with your own.
There's something that is just kind of foggy now. I know that there's something that resonates, but there's just something, I don't know what it is, a movement now. It's just kind of.
Yes, it's okay. Just notice it. It'll reveal itself when it's moment. Yeah, but beautiful. You notice it.
Thank you so much.
Has nothing to do with you. It's just old information showing up. And it's beautiful when it starts to show up. That's all. It's an opportunity.
Thank you for saying that, because there's this very long habit of just making everything of me wrong.
Yeah. It's a funny old habit. I think many of us know it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that would definitely be, if you look at your family history, that would definitely belong to the conditioning that happened and like that. So, yeah, that means nothing about you. Just shows some conditioning. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mukti. Isabella.
Hello, Isaac, and everyone.
Hello, Isabella. It's been
Can
a
you
while.
hear me? Yeah.
I hear you and I see you.
Oh, I'm just gonna take a moment.
Yes.
My heart beats really fast, so okay. Something troubles me with the question. So, just giving a little bit of background, in the past month, I did 2 retreats, in-person retreats in Portugal, and it was a big opening of my nervous system. So I processed a lot of energies, on-mat energies and things like that. And it's serving me to be here today, especially today, because I notice I'm going too deeply into these feminine and masculine energies, and I'm aware of those. I'm aware of the masculine, I'm aware of the feminine, I'm aware of this play inside of the body. And I was looking at the relationship between myself and my mother. And I perceive in her a lot of fear, as I perceive in me as well, fear, and I'm holding that. But I notice that I perceive this sense of self in people, and their fears and their mind identification. And in the past, I used to go beyond that, like deeper than that, even though I was perceiving people and their fears and their this identity. I was going beyond it and I was meeting them deeper. And now I learned about boundaries and projections and expectations and things like that. And I realized in this human form, but I wanted your point of view as well. I realized I didn't have any boundaries as a little child with my mother. So then I grew up like that with no boundaries and always thinking of her, always doing things right for her to be happy, always, oh, I have to be careful that she feels good. I have to behave in a certain way that she feels good and she's not upset and she's not depressed. So I kind of taught my nervous system how to cope with someone who was my caregiver, but she was not able to hold me as a caregiver. So I had to learn to hold myself as a child. And then in my adult life, I lost my brother, and then life happened, and then something inside me just exploded and just said, okay, I cannot hold anything at all anymore. Like I need to be held by someone. I cannot, as my nervous system or something in me. And today, I notice how my mother is in the same pattern, like constantly calling me. She's capable of calling me 10 times a day. And if I don't pick up the phone, she's calling my neighbors. Is my child okay? And I realized how much anger I had inside of me since I was a child of stop, you don't have any limit. Like, I understand that you gave birth to me, but I'm not that child anymore. I'm not the way you see me. And I was trying so deep since many years to forgive and to accept her and embrace her the way she is. But something in me is so like, no, this is not okay. You know, something in me, like this strength from my belly, since I was a child, I had that, and it was, no, this is not okay. So I wanted to put it out in this space. Because yesterday she did exactly the same thing. And I just found out today from my cousin who was like, oh, your mother called me again. Are you okay? And I was like, wow, this is not possible. I have a child today. And my mother is still doing this with me. Like, so I can
I'll tell you a little story. I'll tell you a little story from my journey.
Yeah, please.
My parents had a habit whenever they would spend time with me. Well, you know, I left home fairly young and went traveling, left South Africa. But they loved to come and visit me wherever I was. And whenever they would come, they would start with their, when are you going to get married? And when are you going to get a proper job? And all, you know, like whatever their story was. And it used to really, my system responded with upset about it. And doesn't matter how upset I got, didn't change that dynamic. It just meant always when we would meet, there would be this, and then somehow we'd find a way to kind of, okay, so those are the patterns and we're used to them, and somehow you find a way to still kind of spend time, whatever. But it was always kind of troubling all of us. And at one point, it's like this recognition happened in me that was their way of showing that they loved me. Very clumsy, very, like, really not skillful, So something changed in me when they started speaking like that. Instead of fighting with them, I just said, oh, I get it. That's just your way of saying that there's love. And my dad said, oh, finally you get it. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, well, I'm sorry it took me so long, but, I have a question for you. It's just like, from now on, you can continue that. It doesn't matter. Once I realize it, I just see that it's a very unskillful, clumsy way of kind of trying to have a good time together, but it's really clumsy. And so my question is, when you start in that whole thing, is it fun for you, or is it does it trouble you? And I said, you can continue, because for me, I'm off the other side of the hook now. It doesn't matter. And then they said, no, actually, it doesn't feel fun for us. So I said, well, look, keep doing it as long as it needs to keep happening. But I think, it's past its use-by date. We don't need to keep playing that. And then it kind of dropped away. But there were still many habits, and my mother especially, till she died, that was so out of it and clumsy and just out of tune. But anyway, that was just how it played. But so it's nice to, in a certain way, to start to recognize, okay, there's something in your system that never developed healthy boundaries. It didn't know how to stand up for itself.
Yeah.
But it's learning now. It's in a learning process, And if you make that into religion, I have to set strong boundaries and clear boundaries. I tell you, it's a lot of trouble. You see, your mother doesn't, how can I say, probably her parents also did the same thing with her, and so there's a pattern playing in her, and I doubt it. How old is she now?
She's 62 or 63.
Yeah, it's unlikely that those patterns will change. I'll just keep playing. So it's just up to you then, it's just, okay, you can call 10 times, I'm not going to pick up the phone. Feel free to trouble the neighbors and all that stuff, but, I know that it's just your way of trying to, show that you're a good mother or something, but it's not so much fun on my end, and it's not necessary. But you can try and tell her any other way, she's just going to hear it through her filters, through that freak out that's playing in her already.
I was just wondering, is it a way that I could access something in her deeper that will...
So look, it's an automatic unconscious pattern playing in her.
Yeah, this I know.
Yeah, this you know. When it's automatic and unconscious, how much choice does she have?
Yes, none.
Zero, yeah. So the thing is, what would invite that pattern to become conscious? Look, there's a pattern playing in you, Mom, and it's actually, I can see it. It troubles you a lot. And it also it's uncomfortable on my end. So I mean, if that pattern needs to play, let it play. But I'm really it's not worth getting upset about it, because that just feeds it in a certain way.
Mm.
It's good to recognize that that your system compensated in two ways, or probably many more than that. It compensated in the way of trying to make her happy, but it also compensated by being severely pissed off.
Yes.
That's how it survived, and that was just how your system adapted to that, that field of information. Yeah, and just to see, you also had no choice in that. But it's like there's no need to keep feeding that pissed offness, or to feed trying to please her. Those are starting to show themselves, and you can see it's just not necessary anymore. Something in you is maturing. It sees like an uncomfortable neurotic pattern playing in your mother, and that's her journey. You can't fix her or change her. If something in her, if you step out of that other side, it has nothing to kind of grab onto.
I was wondering, maybe something it's still in me that doesn't accept that fully.
It troubles something, and so now from the perspective of that trouble is outsourcing the trouble. It's your mom's fault, basically. And so then there's been an attempt to try and forgive her, but how can you forgive someone when they have no choice? It's not your mom either. It's a pattern playing in your mom.
Yeah.
She has zero control over it. So forgiving is crazy. It means nothing. It's like, how do you forgive a pattern? And what wants to forgive in you is a pattern itself that wants to be at peace. It's the pattern that wants to be at peace, and the pattern is never at peace.
I see that now. Okay, yes.
Yeah, and you here, that's it. There's this expression of life that you call mother. It's a bunch of patterns, but those patterns are not your mother.
Yeah.
And like every upset, it just boils down to patterns upset with patterns, unconscious patterns upset with unconscious patterns.
What a play!
What a play! That's it. So.
Oh my God!
It was interesting, Once that showed itself in my story with my parents, and something in me stepped out of that other side. Like I'm upset about. You come all this way and you always ask me the same stupid questions. Just stop it, shit. But then when I just, okay, look, you can keep asking those questions.
Yes.
Nothing
clear.
is in resistance anymore to it. It's just, okay, it's just patterns.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isabel.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, beloveds. Thanks for showing up, exploring, and playing. Love, peace, beauty. Thanks, Bas, for hosting. Ciao for now. Yeah.